Okay, so you guys know what time it is. You can see here we are on the good old-fashioned tier maker website. So that means obviously it is time for a tier list. And in this case, we are going to be doing a top 10 LRs tier list. I know you guys like these. It's kind of fun. And over the last couple weeks, we have gotten two major additions to the cast, if you will. That being Tech Ultra Instinct Goku came out yesterday. Brand spanking new unit, Giga busted, easily in the top 5, where I'm not going to spoil it quite just yet, but easily a top 5 unit in the game, doing all kinds of crazy things that we will be talking about as the video goes on. But yeah, not only did we get Ultra Instinct Goku, we also got Cell Max, who's also going to be added to this list. So the Super Bosses team is beginning to round out. Obviously, it's not quite on the level of Buu Saga or Superheroes yet, but it is starting to get there. And in part 2, the Jiren is going to be another addition to that, because it is 90% a Jiren, right? I'd be shocked if it wasn't Jiren. Usually Tanabata is always the opposition of whoever the character is in front of us. So Jiren, very, very likely. 90 might even be underselling it a little bit. But before we get into the list, keep in mind that this is my opinion, and this list was very difficult to make. Ranking 8 to 10 especially, I think you could make an argument for either one. So if you want to leave it in the comments, go ahead. Obviously, no offense taken, but obviously be nice. It's just the Dokkan list. So let's go ahead and get into it. Starting at the number 10 spot is going to be Split. I usually don't like to do this, but we are going to be splitting it between two characters, that being Evolution Blue Vegeta and Kaioken Blue Goku, as well as Physical Buuhan. Now, Buuhan, his teams, if we would have made this list back at the end, in the middle of April, this character wouldn't, I don't know where he would have been just because of the releases recently, but we would have been talking about how the Majin Power team, the artificial life forms, and all that stuff just has like no help. And now, after we had the Golden Week celebration, we really kind of saw a big jump in what this character is doing, especially after his EZA. Global got this early, so you guys that play Global had a chance to experience this. You can see he's doing all kinds of fun stuff. Healing up 20% at the beginning of the turn. We have guard, we have dodging, we have defensive stacking, offensive stacking. When we go into the Buuhan form, he has debuffing on the enemy. You can potentially seal him. We have guard against all attacks, which is very good. We still have that additional. We also have additional attack and defense 50%, and then nullifying the action for 5 turns. So attack nullification is huge, because especially considering when you're going to be bringing out Buuhan, there's a good chance that you aren't going to be going for 5 more turns unless you absolutely have to, right? And then when the turn ends with 50% or more HP, you're getting an additional attack plus 50%, and then recover. You're going to be healing when you are at low HP. So Majin Link set, obviously there's going to be a lot of healing. We have the start of turn healing, 20%. We have attack defense way up, and especially when you can link this character up with a Big Bad Boss's character, you are going to be noticing a considerable jump in where this guy's at. But the big issue is Big Bad Boss's links, you guys can see, not exactly the best until we get to BAM! Kid Buu Super EZA, who is a huge help. We're getting Big Bad Bosses, we're getting that big support that he's throwing out. I think this is a solid character, and easily worthy of the top 10 spot. I just could not figure out where I wanted to put him on the list. So 10 is where this guy's going to be, and sharing that spot with him is going to be Evolution Blue and Kaioken Blue Goku. Where this character fits in, they are on the Superheroes team, but that Superheroes team, for some reason, they're like, here's the best team in the game, let's keep buffing them, right? I don't know if UI Goku was exactly what the best team in the game needed right now, but we will take it. But what is this character doing, right? On his 18 key, we're getting 100% attack and defense. We're getting 50 attack and defense on these other supers. We're raising that defense as well with normals, getting additional attack and defense with key spheres. We have damage reduction coming in. We have debuffing to the enemy, lowering the attack on both the 18 key and the 12 key. We have high defensive numbers. We have damage reduction on the active skill turn, one time only, and then we get a critical hit when the key meter's at 24, and then once only we have damage reduced by 70% when HP is 50% or lower, so on the active skill turn, but they need to attack first. So this is a very good slot 2, slot 3 unit for the Superheroes team, especially when you are linking him up with some of the Tournament of Power units that we will be talking about later as some of the best characters in the game. So that is why I have this character at number 10. Very solid unit, and I put them alongside Buu-Tanks because it's just like the team that they are on is the best team in the game, but they don't really make the tier 1 cut, right? They will for me right now because I don't have UI Goku yet, but not quite just yet. But let's go ahead and move on to the number 9 spot. And again, this is where things got tricky, right? Like, I really was struggling on where to put these characters, but at number 9, I'm going to go with Orange Piccolo. So if you guys remember my last list, Broly is a little bit further up than last time. So Orange Piccolo, we'll keep this one short and sweet. Nothing has changed about Orange Piccolo to me. Where do I have him at? Right here, Orange Piccolo. It's defensively, he is starting to taper off a decent bit, but it is always going to have some value, and it's going to be really hard to push him out of the top 10 until we get like 3 or 4 more LRs with his ability to take away the AoEs and the supers, right? Giant form, you guys know, I talked about it nonstop since it's happened. Always putting him as high as I could put him on these lists, and unfortunately we've reached the point where 9 is probably the highest I can go with him. So you could argue either way for Piccolo to be at number 8 above the unit that's going to be at number 8, but it's tough to gauge, right? 8 to 10 especially, I really, you could go either way. So number 8, we'll just move on from that one. Orange Piccolo, you guys know, offense, defense, support, healing, damage reduction, all that fun stuff, and also the team protection ability that he has. So number 8, this unit here, the Gammas. We love the Gammas in this house, but 8, I feel, is the appropriate spot for them. This, again, is a character that gauging is a little bit tricky because, unfortunately, I did not pull them. I know I'm a Dokkan tuber, but unfortunately, it's not easy to pull every single unit in this game at all times. What this guy is doing, especially coming from the standby mode, is very good, and they're providing support for a unit in this game that is really good. He's STR, he's a hybrid Saiyan on the Bottom Master and Disciple team, Mr. Beast Gohan. So he's going to be fitting on the superheroes category. You know, we're getting extra support, we're getting crit chance and stuff like that. The standby, a big attack like that. Shout out to the pre-fix version of this character, like where Gamma 1 was hitting for like 60 million or something like that. But we have standby. We have what's it called? When they're in the standby mode, you can see here when we're on this version right here, we've got let's see. We got the same thing. Key 6, attack and defense 250%, and then damage receipt. He's got damage reduction by 50%. We're getting crit chance. Like, this character's a lot of damage reduction, a lot of support, a lot of crit chance. The only big knock compared to Piccolo for me is that their team protection is just a little bit tricky, but I just think with the support and the bigger numbers, you're going to feel a little bit safer with this character at all times compared to Orange Piccolo, where there's going to be a lot of turns you're like, I don't know if he's making it out of this, right? So that's why I have this character at number 8. I think if you want to argue him at 9, you want to argue him at 10, it's not a big deal, but I felt that it was time to spice things up a little bit, maybe change up, and unfortunately knock Orange Piccolo down a peg. So that's why I have him at number 8. Let's move on to number 7, and this is, again, another character that I have yet to acquire, but during the Tanabata banner for part 2, or whenever that Tanabata special banner comes out, we are going to be coining this guy, and that is Mr. Broly. Now, Mr. Broly, there's a lot to talk about with this character that I think he is doing extremely impressive, and this is a character who is actually aging really well, in my opinion, because of his the big Super Bosses buffs that we have been seeing recently, especially with a character we'll be talking about later, Cell Max. This Super Bosses team went from one that was kind of laughable to, like, it's really becoming a contender, right? Now, Double Broly, I'm not sure if that is going to be optimal for a lot of setups, but this is a character that's going to fit in just fine on other teams. He fits under the Beast lead, if I'm not mistaken. He has guard, he has stacking abilities, and then when you go into this domain, it is going to be super... He is going to... When he goes into this domain, he still puts up one of the most impressive offensive outputs that you can see in this game, and I think that's where a lot of people fall in love with this character, and we're willing to put him a little bit higher than he probably should have been. But at his best, this is like, you know, the 5th best character at this game and then like the worst, I'd say he's like the 7th or 8th right now. And last list, I got it a little bit wrong and underrated him, but that is why time is a beautiful thing, right? I was able to come back in, think about it, and I think once I'm able to kind of use this character and appreciate him a little bit more than just from my friend support, and especially with Cell Max being around, I'll actually be able to get a good gauge on what this character is able to truly do. But the guard at all times is great. We have damage reduction with the domain active, attack and defense, attack 50%, defensive up 50%, additional supers, crit chance, more additional supers. Like, this guy is going to be doing so many supers, so many and high attack stats, raising his attack, guarding. There's so many things that this character is doing well that it's really hard to kind of rate him a little bit lower. So I do have him at number 7, and let's move on to number 6. And we are going to be staying within part 1 of the anniversary, and that is going to be Gogeta Blue. So Gogeta Blue, I think this character is actually going to be suffering a decent bit from the UI Goku update, where I think now that UI Goku is a character that has this is a tongue twister, right? He has dodge, nullification, nullification. So this is going to be a character that doesn't care if you're ignoring dodge during a specific turn. Now, with that, I think that they're going to start trying to power creep these bosses to sort of be disabling dodge, so that way you're going to want to summon for UI Goku, right? Especially during this celebration. And Gogeta Blue, unfortunately, with his taunt turn, and even with outside of the taunt turn, is going to be dodge or die, but in the taunt turn, he's obviously just dodge. And that taunt does not override dodge nullification. So what does that mean, right? That means this character, especially on his taunt turn and just like in general, is going to be less usable in his blue mode because he is dodge or die. But the offensive output that this character is putting out is still phenomenal. He has guard, we're effective against all types. We are going to be stacking, where is it right here? We're going to be stacking our defense on our 18 key. So obviously very helpful. With the guard for the 3 attacks, and then we're going to be transforming, all of that fun stuff, the effective against all types, the rainbow orb changing, the extra key that you're getting, you're going to be consistently sitting at 24 key, nullifying Ki Blast based supers and countering. That counter is honestly pretty rare because Ki Blast supers you just don't really see that often these days, unfortunately. Just because a lot of these are like combination super attacks, because we're starting to get those more modern animations for super attacks. So that is where I have this character. Now, this is where things get fun. Yeah, I spoiled number 5, but Cell Max. Cell Max is very tough to gauge. I think at his best you could argue him at number 2. At his worst you could argue him at number 5. And I think number 5 for me is the sweet spot due to the fact that he is not a superhero, right? Superhero brain rot is real, but this character defensively has the most impressive turn that a character can have right now, especially with that taunt. He has an AoE, he's doing all kinds of good stuff. This is a phenomenal character. The big issue for me when it comes to evaluating this character is I yet to have the super bosses lead that I truly need, but what this guy is doing is absolutely unreal, right? I think what the problem is, running this guy outside of his designated teams is tricky because of this right here. You're losing something if a superhero category ally is attacking the same turn. So like, if you're running this character with the Gammas, you have to make sure that you never see him with the Gammas because he's missing out on a part of his passive, right? And that sucks because obviously they are both on artificial life forms, and that is going to kind of tie into things because those are probably, definitely the 2 best characters on the artificial life form team. And that obviously does make things a little bit tricky for this Cell Max, but again, just running him on pure super bosses with the taunt turn, you know, we're talking at least like 6 million plus defense, right? As impressive as it gets in terms of defense. Like, it is just, there's nothing in this game that can hurt the Cell Max. I'm pretty sure on that taunt turn, there's just nothing. You just like, good luck, dude. It's a brick wall that is literally made out of bedrock from Minecraft, right? I know, you weren't expecting a Minecraft reference in this video, right? This is a bedrock wall. Like, you just cannot do anything to him on that taunt turn, and that is obviously very, very valuable. But good stuff, right? I think this character is phenomenal. I think the fact that he is not on superheroes is a knock, unfortunately, but that is just the way just the way the game works right now. But you can see not a lot of categories, okay links, at least he has big bad bosses and stuff like that. But with the taunt turn, this character alone, this taunt turn is going to be moving him up a lot, and people are going, I don't think they're going to like this placement, but that is how I feel. I think 5 is a great spot for him. If you want to argue him higher, I don't blame you at all. So, number 4, this one hurts. I hate that I always have to do this. I have to say this like every video. I'm going to put number 4 and number 3 up on the screen right now. UI Goku, and now that we've learned that these characters are a little bit buffed and the dodge chance kind of is going into the next turn that is built up, so like if he dodges 3 times, the next turn his chance is actually 98 and not going back to 77. I think that is very good, and their offensive output from these characters are nearly identical, but like when it comes to damage, right? Guaranteed crits on 24 key, then guaranteed crits on any additional supers they may potentially do. These characters are always just going to have high offensive output. Their defensive output is going to be good, especially on turn 1 where Evolution Blue has the guard, UI Goku has the guaranteed dodging. I think that is huge, like that is very, very important, right? Evolution Blue Vegeta is literally only above UI Goku because he's more consistent. I think the defensive consistency and not being able to withstand dodge, like the dodge disable, which is going to, I really think is going to become a mainstay in some of these events now. I think that's just an easy argument for Evolution Blue Vegeta to be at number 3 and then UI Goku to be at number 4. That obviously pains me to say because I love UI Goku. Like, AGL UI Goku is still my favorite unit in the game, right? This new Goku probably, I would say, is just because he has UI sign and true UI, or MUI, but obviously I don't have him yet, so I'm going to be a bit of a bully. But my form of bullying is putting him at the number 2 spot, and then that obviously leads for number 1. But let's talk about this new UI Goku, right? A lot of things that he's doing that I am a big fan of. The dodge support is something that sounds really sick. We have damage reduction. We have all the dodging that he's doing, his domain where he just becomes a god, the counters that he's doing, the damage that he has. It's his support is crazy. This is a character who I think is really going to age well because dodge nullification is just absolutely insane. Something that I was not expecting anytime soon, but I think this is a character that definitely is worthy of that because it just makes the most sense, right? Like this is UI is all about dodging, right? And I'm just happy they did that. So there we have it. I think once I kind of get some more time with this character, I really like the all allies attack and defense plus 59% on the 18 key. That is huge. We have extra ki, we have extra attack and stuff like that, evade and all enemy attacks, and it's just, there's a lot that this character is doing. The countering, the damage reduction, the guard activating against all attacks after you receive an attack, we gain additional attack, performing additionals, like this guy's going to be doing damage, he's going to be dodging, he's supporting. This super attack effect here, and especially with the domain, like this is an absolutely crazy character. Sharing 7 out of 7 links with AGL UI Goku, that is easily going to be my favorite rotation whenever I can end up using it. So hopefully we pull this character by the end of Tanabata. If we don't, oh well, such is life, we adapt. But number 1, you guys knew, it's not a secret. Until when a character replaces Beast, I promise you'll know. And it's literally just, here, you want to know how you replace Beast? You make another Beast +1, and that's the best character. So with Beast Gohan, it's the taunt, it's the protection of the rotation with the taunt, the support that he's doing, the defensive abilities that he has. UI Goku can get caught with a super, especially in base, and take damage. Beast Gohan, it's like it's a very specific situation for this Beast to take damage. The key support that he's giving when he is getting hit, like I said, the taunt, the crit support, the attack nullification on the unit super with Piccolo around, the leader skill for superheroes, raising defense, greatly stacking attack, all that fun stuff, damage reduction, guard, extra ki. It's just, this character is literally doing like a little bit of everything, it feels like, and that is why I'm just such a fan of this character. I think number 1 is not up for contest right now. I wish I could say it was, but unfortunately, UI Goku was just not good enough to make the cut to be number 1. So there you have it, the new top 10 for June, July, whatever you want to call it. July isn't going to see like a major update, but we will be getting a Jiren that's probably going to fit somewhere into the 6 to 10 range, but who knows, he could just be absolutely busted and could just be like Super Boss's version of Gohan. So let me know down below what you guys thought of this list. Quick recap: number 10, Evolution Blue Vegeta and Blue Tanks. Number 9, Orange Piccolo. 8, Gammas. 7, Full Power Broly. 6, Blue Gogeta. 5, Cell Max. 4, AGL UI. 3, Evolution Blue Vegeta. 2, Tech Ultra Instinct Goku, and number 1, Beast Gohan. So if you did enjoy today's video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and turn on notifications before you go, so that way you don't miss out on any of my Dokkan content. You want to keep it locked in around here because the 9th anniversary is going to be a movie, and we're going to be covering all of it. So before we go, I have to do a quick member shout out, but if you don't want to stay for that, I'll see you all in the next one. Okay, so we have a new member who has joined the club, rejoined the club, and that is Baby Chicken. Welcome back. I appreciate your support, but here we go. Baby Chicken, Sokudo, James, Luffy, Frogman, Daniel, Anub, Ice, Ashish, Eric, Rohit, Dat Boy, Les, Christian, Omar, and Raudo. Thank you all for your support. If you want to consider becoming a channel member below, click the link in the description. And if you don't, all good. I appreciate your support anyway, and I'll see you all in the next one.